To take you straight to Paris, where, as we said off the top, where a third body has been recovered in Saint-Denis. CTV Geneviève Beauchemin is standing by. What can you tell us, Geneviève?
You know, there were those raids on early Tuesday morning where police stormed this apartment in the Saint-Denis district in northern Paris here. And at that time, we were told that 2 people were killed. There were 8 arrests at the time, but police did leave room for the possibility that there could be more bodies found amongst the rubble because, indeed, there was so much destruction at the time. You remember that the suicide bomber detonated her vest and it led to the collapse of the floor. It led to a lot of damage in the apartment building, and the police had fired 5,000 bullets, sprayed the apartment with 5,000 bullets. There had been grenades that had been launched there. And so, indeed, there was a lot of damage to that particular apartment building. And so they thought perhaps they had to go over all the rubble there. They had to go inch by inch, looking through everything. And now we're hearing word that there is a third body, the body of a woman who has not yet been identified.
And what have we learned, if anything? We know the mastermind, the suspected mastermind of these attacks was killed. What have we learned about this woman who blew herself up?
Well, she is said to be his cousin who was killed in that attack. There has been some information that has filtered about her. People talking about how she seemed to be, a normal young woman, and that they were surprised by the fact that she had detonated her bomb there. There was that exchange with police officers at the time of the just before she blew herself up, where police were calling out to her saying, "Where is your boyfriend? Where is your boyfriend?" And she was angrily shouting back, "He's not my boyfriend." So we don't know exactly a lot more information as to exactly how she found herself to be in that particular apartment building. And you know, now there's a lot of questions that are being raised about security and intelligence here in France, because reports are emerging about the fact that that mastermind, that the ringleader Abdelhamid Abaoud, was seen on numerous occasions on that street in Saint-Denis. It's outside the apartment, socializing. There are reports emerging that he could have been seen in the metro, in the subway here in Paris. And so questions as to just how he was able to get into this country, how he was able to get into Paris. There was an arrest warrant out for him. So how did he make his way here? How was he not detected? So that's a big question. And you know, the Interior and Justice ministers are meeting in Brussels today of the European Union. They're talking about just how to make things much more secure here. What kind of crackdowns can be brought in place to ensure the safety of citizens here?
And you're also hearing the headlines as we are following the story about 170 hostages being taken in Mali that may involve some French nationals as hostages.
Absolutely, and that's something that is frightening here to people. There's a lot of people, for instance, that talking about some staff that would be staying in that hotel. It is a place that a lot of French nationals would have been visiting, and so perhaps another attack indirectly on France, as we know that ISIS has called for attacks on these nationals wherever there may be, and so raising a lot more questions, a lot more fears. People are talking about that this morning. They were watching the news and dreading that there could be more French nationals killed in that particular attack.
Okay, developing news that we continue to follow. Geneviève, thank you very much for this update.